Thanks everyone for joining. We are looking forward to show you a couple of updates we have prepared for you for the Power BI connector, which was released just today to the Autodesk App Store. So this is something you will be able to download and test just after the webinar. And before we start, we would also like to tell you a little bit about us. I am joined today by a couple of colleagues who have also been doing some great work on the Power BI connector. So I'll maybe start with a quick introduction. I'm Leila. I am a product manager on the data exchange team. I am a former architect, and I used to work a lot around Revit, OpenBIM, and IFC. And as you can recognize in these topics, data interoperability was somehow always close to my heart. And that's why I'm also very happy now to be a part of the data exchange team and to be helping find new ways of data interoperability and tackle some of the challenges we have today. With that, I would hand over to Trupti for a quick intro.
Stella. So, hey everyone, my name is Trupti. I'm also a product manager currently based in the Autodesk Pune office. I'm a former software engineer, really passionate about data-driven cloud-based workflows. And I joined Autodesk in September last year, closely working with Leila in the management side. And I will hand it over to Rakesh.
Yeah. Hey, hello everyone. So I'm Rakesh, working as a QA engineer in the data exchange ecosystem and also helping with the support tickets. So you might have heard my name if I have replied you to any of your query related to Power BI or any other connector. Yeah. Looking forward to this and handing over to Samir.
Hey, hi everyone. Thanks, Rakesh. Myself, Samir Joshi. I've been with Autodesk around 11 years now, and I'm part of QA team in the data exchange organization, and very passionate to solve the interoperability challenge since it's one of the important challenge from the on the Autodesk side. And all these connectors are pretty exciting to me, and it's very glad to work with all the customers.
Thanks so much, team. Really looking forward to what we are showing today. Just a quick intro. We will start with a couple of customer workflows. We will keep this short. There are just a couple of them to simply show you what you can actually do with the data exchange connector for the Power BI. Then we will have a look at what's actually new in the connector 2.4.0, which we, as mentioned, released just today. Then we will have a quick roadmap update. So we will talk about some new things we are working on. And we definitely have a lot of time in the end for you to ask us anything that might be on your mind. We would love to hear your feedback. We would love to hear what you think about the new updates we will be sharing and also about the roadmap items and the items we are working on. And that's why we hope you stick until the end. And in the meanwhile, you can also feel free to share the questions in the chat or also in the Q&A panel as you like. And then we can discuss these at the end. Before we start, since we will be talking about the roadmap, I'm sure you all have already seen the safe harbor statement in the past. This basically says that obviously roadmaps are plans and plans can change. So please make sure to make any purchasing decisions only based on what is already available and not what we show you as part of the roadmap. With that, let's continue with the presentation and let's talk about some of the customer workflows which were shared with us with customers who have been using a data exchange since the very beginning. And this should also outline the benefits and the possibilities of data exchange, even for someone who is just starting out with data exchange, or for the ones of you who are still not quite sure what data exchange can actually be used for. So a WSP is a using Navisworks to coordinate the models and also to create some 4D simulations. But they realized that a lot of the stakeholders with whom they would like to share the models struggle with using Navisworks. And this is why they are creating data exchanges from Navisworks and then loading them into the Power BI, which you can see here. This is a Power BI dashboard created with our data exchange connector, which basically allows you to combine the data from Navisworks along with the 4D simulation data or any other data sources that you might have. And this has a couple of great advantages. Like, for example, you don't really need to educate the people with whom you share the Power BI dashboard. They might not be BIM specialists or even know how to work with the BIM data, but they can simply click on the link, view the dashboard on the web, and also easily access the data that is relevant to them in a simple way. Another very nice example is this one shared by V&V Bravo, who is also one of our very early data exchange users. And Juan has also developed a very sophisticated dashboard, also based on 4D data, as you can see here. And he has also integrated a workflow to have basically a 4D simulation playing inside of the dashboard so that you can make this kind of a 4D scenario available and also accessible to a lot of users who otherwise might not have the access to this data. And this is really the main advantage of the Power BI, that you can share this data with everyone. And of course, if you are an expert in Power BI, then you can also connect other data sources in the background and also calculate a lot of other things, like, for example, the materials, the area, the volume, anything that you might need. You might even connect this to the cost data and basically have a dashboard that really reflects the current status of the model in a very comprehensive way. And of course, you can also access all the properties in the model, like the levels or the fire rating or anything else that might be a part of your data exchange which you have created. And then talking about this, you can also combine the data exchanges with data sources like the assets coming from ACC. Our customer CRB has also created this demo where they connect the data exchange, which is the 3D model you can see here on the left, and all the data, all the properties that are part of these elements. And then they have connected the assets data, which comes from the ACC. And by doing so, they are able to see the status of the elements. They are able to see what has been already completed, installed, what is still pending, and so on. And when connecting this, for example, with the cost data and with other information available, you are really able to create a comprehensive dashboard that gives you perfect snapshot of what is actually happening right now and what is the current status of the elements without the need to look for this information on the ACC. And this can again be shared with anyone who has a web browser. And I do hope that's everyone on the project. So these were a couple of examples and inspirations of what you can do with Power BI Connector. Of course, there is a lot more. We also have tutorials. We have a lot more examples. And in a moment, I will also share our link list in the chat, where you can find the recordings, for example, from our previous webinars, where you can find the recordings from the Autodesk University, where we have a couple of more customer videos and showcases explaining what you can do with a data exchange. But today we actually want to focus on what's new, what have we been working on, and what's now available in the brand new Data Connector 2.4.0, which is available on the App Store. And with this, I'll hand over to Rakesh, who will tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, thank you, Leila. And yeah, we have a good timing that we just released the connector 2.40 version today only. So you can go and see what we are now going to showcase. Yeah, so the in the first part, we have a few new productivity tweaks and features added in the viewer, which can be used for a smoother navigation inside the viewer. Lela, can you help me to play the video? Yeah. So we have recently added appearance setting for viewer, where we have now added a new option for fit to view. So that was a default option earlier, and no way to disable that. So we have now given that option. So you can see while cross highlighting, the model used to get fit to view the whole entire model, which was a bit annoying. So now users can turn this setting off, and so that the model will not get auto zoom to fit once they do the cross highlighting. Yeah, here you can see the view is maintained, and later they can manually change the view. So yeah, it was small but a big difference. And we also added a new extension, toggle cluster, which gives a new button in the existing toolbar, and with that using any property we can simply get the clustered layout in the viewer. So you can search for any property, for example here fire rating, and the model will be dynamically clustered according to that property. And yeah, this was also pretty awesome to visualize. I think this is also not available in the ACC viewable out of the box. Yeah, but it's there in the viewer. Next, we also added a new feature in the measure tool, handy one, to get to know the coordinates of the elements or the geometries, the spot coordinate command. We also, there was a unit thing as well, but it was not a persistent. So we added it into our format setting, which is persistent across the sessions when you reopen the dashboard or change the tab. So that unit setting is there. Also, another persistency feature we added is a save camera. So whatever view, zoom, and focus you set into the viewer and click the save button, it will be saved when you reopen the dashboard, just like we are seeing here. So again, this is also not in the ACC there, but yeah, here in the Power BI's viewer, you can maintain that. So yeah, that was these ones. And all these features we heard from you guys, our customers, and try to incorporate them into the viewer thing. So yeah, this is will be a nice productivity tweaks into the viewer. We also improved handling of the geometries, or mostly for IFC and Revit exchanges, where the coordinates are real world and are very far away from the 000 coordinate. And due to that, we have a distortion in the geometry. So we have fixed that in our viewer. So you can see the before and after in the image. So that is also fixed now in 2.40. So you can try that. Yeah, we already released today version 2.40. So you can go from the App Store and download that. So we have two ways for the viewer. You can get it from the Microsoft App Stores as well, but we'll soon update there as well. But until then, you can just install the latest 2.40 and load the visual from the Power BI desktop folder, and you will get all these features. Yeah, and I think I will next hand over to Samir for the feature which I am personally excited, but I think customers will are also excited for that. Yeah, Samir, over to you.
Thanks, Rakesh. I think the next feature, which was frequently asked by customers, was providing ability to schedule refreshes. With the 2.40 release, any dashboards published using this release, we should be able to schedule them. As you see in the screenshots, the refresh now and schedule refresh, both of them have been enabled now. If there is an update of an exchange, it can be scheduled, and you should see the latest ones on the dashboard. Anything which is either shared with you or you have created. All the dashboards should be we should be able to schedule the refresh. The detailed documentation is already available on the link provided. One thing is, since this is a custom connector, the data gateway has to be set up for the scheduled refresh to work. I will just go through a few other steps where once you have a gateway setup and you try to do a schedule refresh or settings in the previous page, you would come to this form. It will list all the gateways available for you. You should be able to select any of those gateways, just apply them over here, and that gateway will take care of the schedule refresh. And another thing which is important is the refresh stuff. Like you can select the time zone, just make it on, and you can provide your own timelines where it can schedule it. This is just one example of we have set up our own data gateway in our premises, and we have added all of our colleagues to that gateway. So everyone on this gateway, their dashboards as well as the shared ones, we are able to schedule and see those reports. Similar stuff like once you have the gateway, which you should be able to use this feature. Yeah, that's about scheduled dashboards. There is one more thing as part of 240. Now the Power BI connector is available across all new regions. Earlier it was only US, EMEA, and Australia. Now there were 5 more regions added to ACC, the construction cloud, and Power BI. Now this with this it supports completely all the exchanges created from any of these regions. Yeah, I think I will now hand over to Trupti to provide a roadmap update.
So I'll be walking through a few items that we are currently working on and will be delivering in the next few months. And the first one is kind of an important one. I think we already had a few questions about this in the chat, and we have been consistently hearing your feedback about the performance of the Power BI connector. So I'm very happy to share that we are currently working towards entirely revamping the software architecture of the Power BI connector, and this will significantly improve the performance of the connector. We hear that you want to, build complex workflows using Power BI, and you want to load large number of elements or large data in a seamless fashion. So this change in the software architecture side is definitely going to enable users to do that. Since this is a big uplift, a big change that we are taking on, we would really appreciate if customers who are currently using Power BI workflows and are familiar with them would provide some early feedback for this new version of the connector that has this new architecture. So if you are familiar to Power BI workflows and would love to give us some in-depth feedback about this new version of the connector that's coming up, then please let us know. You will see a poll on your screen now, which will enable you to let us know that you're interested. So this is something new and upcoming that we wanted to improve on. So besides constantly improving our documentation and, creating new video tutorials, the Power BI connector, we are also working actively on building new sample dashboards and templates that you all can use to be more creative with your Power BI workflows. Sample dashboards and templates sound a little similar, but these are two different offerings that we have, and they can be used in different use cases. So we want to show you this small video, which will, walk us through that. Sample dashboards is something that gets installed or downloaded when you install the connector. And once you open it up, you can see that this is a fully functional, fully integrated dashboard. It's really good for learning because you can actually look at the panel on the right side and understand how it's been built or configured, and you can rebuild it using your own data. However, the sample dashboards aren't designed for loading other than the file that it's been built on. So you cannot load other data exchanges using a sample dashboard. Let's move on to templates. So templates is something that's available in the Autodesk documentation. To load the template, you will have to provide a URL of the data exchange. So right now we are seeing that we are extracting the URL from ACC, and we will input that into the template and hit load in order to load the template with that data exchange. And now you can see the template has been loaded. These templates are generally very useful for generic data that is expected to be present in all data exchanges. And out of the box templates are just your, solution for creating these simple workflows. But if you want to create your own templates, new templates, then the documentation and instructions for that is available on the Autodesk Data Exchange webpage. And Leila will also share all these links with you all. So this is about sample dashboards and templates, just a small recap. Now we want to hear from you whether Power BI templates is something that you were already aware of and you had already interacted with it, or was this something absolutely new? Would you prefer more of the advanced sample dashboards that you can, learn from and replicate, or would you like to have more templates that you can, get started with? And if you have any use cases specific that come to your mind, you think we should build sample dashboards or templates for, please input that into the text field. I don't know, Leila, if they are seeing the text field because I am not. But yeah, do reach out to us with any use cases that you want us to build dashboards or templates for. We are coming close to end of the content we have for today, but I definitely want to take a moment to announce the next webinar that we are hosting. It's coming up in 2 weeks' time on Feb 11th, and it's titled From Data Silos to Power BI Insights. We have an awesome guest speaker, Michael, who is a principal implementation and advisory consultant at Autodesk. Michael is going to be demonstrating a workflow which starts from Revit, then goes to Data Exchange, and then to Power BI. So this workflow is going to be really beginners friendly. If you are new to using Data Exchange with Power BI or loading data exchanges in Power BI, it is a good starting point for you. And so we really hope that you register and join us in that webinar as well. Another place where you could join us, a really cool place, would be Amsterdam, because the Autodesk Developer Conference is coming up on April 15th and 16th in Amsterdam. The developer conference has really evolved in the last few years, and it has become into this great event that is not at all only exclusive to developers. So don't go by the name. It has a lot of cool technical sessions on AI, on MCP, and of course, the members of Data Exchange team will be there, really looking forward to interacting with you all and just hearing your feedback and helping you unblock your use cases with Data Exchange. So yeah, we are really, really looking forward to meeting you. Finally, I think this webinar hopefully helped you, get an overview of the Power BI connector, where it is at, what's coming up for it. If you want to learn more about Autodesk Data Exchange, please go to our link collection. It has a lot of resources, and also reach out to us over LinkedIn or over email. We are always so happy to hear from you all. And I think with that, we are through the content for the webinar, and we can finally, open the Q&A.
Absolutely. Thanks. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks so much, team. I would say we can just pick out a couple of questions. I can see Samir and Rakesh were already responding to a lot of these. Maybe I will start with one, and then we can make a round and everyone picks a question. So to use Data Exchange and Power BI, you only need docs. So we had a question if you only have BIM Collaborate Pro. So you don't even need BIM Collaborate Pro. You only need the Autodesk docs, and then you can create data exchanges, you can save data exchanges on docs, and then you can use our Power BI connector to load these data exchanges into Power BI. And Power BI even has a free version. So if you are not sharing your dashboards on the web, if you are just using it on the desktop, then the desktop Power BI is free to use. Which is great. And we are still showing this link because we have so many links, we have so many resources. So we created one link collection, one link to rule them all. And you will find all the links to the connectors, to the trainings, tutorials, documentation we have under this link.
I think Levis has a question around parent hierarchy in the Inventor to Power BI.
Yeah, that's the one we are still working on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely on our mind. We hope to be able to share some updates in the next webinars.
Yeah, similar. There was a question on shared coordinates. Yeah, so again, we are working on it for the shared coordinates stuff. So again, we'll hopefully be able to share some good news in the upcoming weeks. And there was one from Pablo related to Latin America. I think it is related to a region. They want the ACC region. So if once the ACC supports the new region, Latin America, I think for data exchange and Power BI, we will be also able to support that.
But of course, you can, if you already have an ACC project set up in the US or somewhere else in one of the other regions, so you can already use data exchange, right? It is only related to where the project is stored. There is also a question on could you view the issues through Power BI? So ACC issues information can also be pulled to Power BI if you look up the connectors available for Power BI and search for Autodesk in the headline, then you will find two connectors. One is the data connector, which is the one we are in charge of, and the other one is the Autodesk Construction Cloud connector, which allows you to pull in the data like assets, the issues, and so on. The assets are pretty straightforward. The issues do require a little workaround at the moment if you really want to view them in the 3D viewer. But we also have customers who have worked with this and who have also achieved this. So maybe you want also to check out the link list and look for our AU session recording. We have showed a couple of examples there. And we are also working on some sample dashboards to show you how you can achieve this in an easier way. And of course, also on some tutorials and a better documentation. There's also a great question from Lars Frederick. If you can get the data from which students uses ACC and when they use it. So if you want to access ACC data, you would use the ACC connector, as mentioned. Just go to in Power BI to get sources, and then search for the Autodesk in the name, and then you take the ACC connector, and that one should give you access to all the ACC data.
There is one related to overridden of the exchange with the same name. If I understood correctly, there are two ways. You can either delete the exchange if you really don't want that and create with the same name. If the another scenario, if you are expecting that the same exchange should have a updated data, in that case, it will be only possible from the same file if you update the exchange. If you are meaning overridden by update, then you can update that exchange itself. But you cannot replace that exchange with another exchange from another file or like that. For that, you will have to delete that only, because file name is even a kind of ACC feature where you cannot put the file of the same name and overridden is not there.
We just got another question around Excel. I'm just thinking, what kind of workflows would you do inside of Excel instead of in the Power BI? And we also have a Power Automate connector, which kind of lets you extract specific data into CSV or Excel files. So I think, Dikesh, if you could share a little bit more about what exactly you would like to do in Excel, that would be great to know. At the moment, we don't have an Excel connector planned, but there are, as mentioned, ways to retrieve data into Excel through the Power
Yeah,
Automate.
yeah. I'm not sure, but a thought, can we also export from Power BI? Maybe I think they're expecting a tabular exchange data. Not sure. Never tried, but we can try.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to call out that I saw a couple questions about number of elements in the exchange, or is there a limit? Rakesh, maybe we want to give a pointer on that.
Yeah, generally I mean, it's not again a rule or a thumb rule that on the number of items, but we generally say 30K elements are very, 30,000 elements are very performant and efficient and give a smoother viewer experience in Power BI. But that I mean, it has other stuffs as well, the number of parameters and few other factors around the number of elements. So yeah, you can give it a try. And also we also promote data exchanges as a granular way. So wherever, if it's possible, you can only create an exchange out of the interested elements only. So that the data exchange will be lightweight and it will be performant in the Power BI. But if both ways are not feasible for you and if you still want to, I mean, use that, you can reach out. We can see how we can optimize, because the data are very specific to customers. So even we have seen the dashboards working very well with 1 lakh elements as well plus, but that depends on that data. So yeah.
Yeah, and you can always reach out to us. If you go to this
Yes.
link tree, you will see a small email icon on the top. That's our email address. And you can just share any feedback or also tell us a little bit more about your requirements or any issues you might be experiencing. With that, thank you all for the great questions. Thank you, team, for the amazing support. It was great to have the webinar with you. And see you soon.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for joining.